There's a certain kind of person life never seems to understand at first. As a child, they're called too sensitive. As a teenager, they're too deep, too intense, or too quiet. In their 20s, they're often the ones people say will figure it out later, usually with a hint of doubt. They feel out of step with everyone else, while others seem to be sprinting ahead, picking careers, partners, identities, and confidently living them out. This person hesitates, questions, overthinks, feels everything too much. They carry enormous inner potential, but it's like their life is on a delay. They may feel like a failure in their 20s, lost in their 30s, confused even by their 40s, and then somewhere later in life, often after heartbreaks, collapses, and disappointments, they awaken, not in a loud, flashy way, not with overnight success and instant clarity, but in a deep, unmistakable shift. They finally become who they were always meant to be, the late bloomer, the old soul, the rare personality that never really fit into any of the boxes, suddenly starts to make sense to themselves first and then to the world. If you're listening to this and you feel like your life has been slow to start, like your real self has always been running late compared to everyone else, pause with me for a moment. If that's you, type the word late in the comments. You don't owe anyone an explanation. That one word is just you quietly saying, I know I'm not like everyone else. And maybe I'm not behind. Maybe I'm just on a different clock. From my side, creating long-form Jungian reflections like this takes time, focus, and a lot of heart. If you ever feel called to quietly support this work, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. It's never an obligation, but it really does help me keep crafting these deep, careful teachings for rare souls like you. And in that same description, you'll find a playlist with videos exactly in this vein about late bloomers, rare personalities, empaths, old souls, and the quiet kind of power that doesn't show up in your 20s but arrives much later and much deeper. Save that playlist. Let it play at night as you fall asleep. Your body will rest, but your subconscious will keep listening, integrating, remembering that your timing has never been random. Now, through a Jungian lens, let's explore why the rarest personalities almost always awaken later in life. 1. Early life, when your depth is a problem, not a gift. For most rare personalities, childhood is not a place of easy belonging. You might remember asking big questions very young about death, meaning, God, injustice, why people act the way they do, feeling different from your peers, like your mind lived somewhere slightly to the side of everyone else's, being easily overwhelmed by noise, conflict, harshness, superficial games, feeling older inside than your age, even when you were small. The adults around you often didn't know what to do with that. Some tried to silence it, stop overthinking, don't be so sensitive. Some tried to pathologize it. What's wrong with you? Why can't you just be normal? Some simply ignored it, overpraising you for being good, quiet, or independent, as if your ability to self-contain was proof you didn't need guidance. From a Jungian standpoint, your true self, the deepest, most authentic core of you, was already stirring. You didn't just want to survive, you wanted to understand. You wanted life to make sense at a soul level. But the world of childhood is mostly about adaptation. Fit the family system, fit the school system, fit the social hierarchy. So instead of being nurtured, your depth became something you had to manage. You learned to hide your questions so you wouldn't ruin the mood. Pretend you didn't notice the tension between adults. Laugh along with shallow things so you wouldn't be alone. A lot of rare personalities become excellent performers early on. They wear the persona, the social mask Jung talks about so well that even they start to believe it. But underneath, there's a quiet sense of alienation. No one really sees me, and if I showed them, I'm not sure they'd stay. This is the first reason the awakening comes late. You had to survive first. You had to fit in just enough to get through the early stages of life. Your true nature had to go underground, waiting until you were strong enough to handle what it really meant. 2. The 20s and 30s. Living a life that never fully fits. While many people build their lives on external scripts, get the degree, the job, the marriage, the house, post the photos, follow the map, the rarest personalities often feel like they're acting in a life they never truly chose. You may find yourself in jobs that drain you, relationships that feel too shallow, social circles that exhaust you. On paper, things might look okay, but internally, you feel like you're betraying something sacred. Jung would say your ego, the conscious identity that wants safety and approval, is driving your choices in this stage. The ego says, at least people think I'm normal, at least I'm not a complete failure, at least I can point to something and say, see, I'm doing life right. But a deeper part of you, the self, never stops tapping on the glass. Is this really it? Why do I feel empty when I've checked the boxes? Why do I still feel like a stranger in my own story? Many rare personalities experience their 20s and early 30s as chronic dissatisfaction, even when things are fine, periods of depression that don't have a clear external cause, a nagging sense that they are behind or broken because they don't want what others seem to want. You may try to fix this by forcing yourself deeper into the script: another degree, another relationship, another city, another self-improvement phase. But you can't outrun the feeling forever, because rare personalities are wired not just to live, but to live in alignment, and alignment can't be faked. This is the second reason the awakening comes later. You have to fully see through the life that doesn't fit before you can begin to build the one that does. 3. The crisis. When the old self collapses in Jungian psychology, there is almost always a crisis before a major awakening. For rare personalities, this crisis can look like a breakup that shatters your illusions about love, burnout or breakdown in a career that was never truly yours, a health scare that forces you to confront your body's limits, a spiritual or existential collapse, I don't know what I believe anymore, a grief that breaks the shell of who you thought you were supposed to be. The crisis is not the punishment, it's the interruption. It's the moment where your old life stops being sustainable. Jung would say your shadow, all the parts of you you've repressed, and yourself, your deeper, wiser center, are both demanding to be acknowledged. You might feel during this time lost, numb, angry at yourself for wasting time, terrified that you've messed up your life beyond repair. But from another angle, something absolutely essential is happening. The personality that was built to please others, to fit in, to play small and play safe, is cracking. This is why so many rare personalities awaken later in life. They don't get a small nudge. They get a psychic earthquake. Their old identity has to die before their true nature can step forward. If you're in that collapse now, you are not failing. You are, whether it feels like it or not, being rewritten. 4. The rare personality. Why it takes longer to load. You've seen how some people seem to know who they are at 16 and never really question it. They like stability. They like clear roles. They like the visible path. They're not wrong for that. But the rarest personalities are wired differently. They are often deeply introspective, highly intuitive, sensitive to energy, symbolism, and unspoken dynamics, spiritually curious, drawn to big-picture meaning, dissatisfied with simplistic answers. Jung might say they are naturally tuned toward the unconscious, towards what lies beneath the surface of things. That means they can't just pick a random life and commit out of sheer will, numb themselves into good enough, stay in places where their soul can't breathe. Their psyche demands more, but to carry that more, they have to develop emotional resilience, discernment, self-knowledge, a strong enough ego to hold the depth they're meant to live. Those things take time. You wouldn't hand a child the controls to a plane. In the same way, your deeper destiny, your real work, your true expression, often cannot arrive too early. If it did, you wouldn't have the container to hold it. The rare personality needs years of observation, pain, questions, trial and error, disillusionment, not as punishment, but as preparation. Anyone can live a small life quickly, but a rare, complex soul is like a cathedral. It takes longer to build. 5. The later awakening. When your soul steps forward, eventually something shifts. It's rarely dramatic on the outside, no fireworks, no sudden overnight success, but inside, there is a quiet, decisive click. I cannot keep betraying myself. You stop asking, what do they want me to be? And start asking, what is mine to do? Jung would say yourself begins to claim its place. Signs you're in this awakening. You become less tolerant of shallow relationships, even if it means being alone more. You finally admit to yourself what you actually want, even if it's not respectable, expected, or easily explained. You begin to create, write, speak, paint, teach, coach, build in ways that express your inner world. You're willing to disappoint others to stay true to your own path. Your sensitivity no longer feels like a curse. It feels like an instrument you're finally learning how to play. The rare personality that was always too much or too intense begins to look like something else, a lighthouse. You see patterns others don't see. You can describe experiences others can't put into words. You carry a wisdom that was born not from theory, but from walking through your own darkness. And life begins to respond differently. People find you when they're ready for a deeper level of truth. Work opportunities appear that fit you in ways old jobs never did. Your presence, calmer now, clearer, starts to change the spaces you're in. It's not perfect. You're still human. You still doubt, ache, fall, but there is a new anchor beneath all of it. I know who I am more than I ever did before, and I will not go back to sleep. If this is resonating and you haven't yet, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, then tap the notification bell so you don't lose this space on days you feel late, behind, or out of place. Your engagement genuinely helps this Jungian-style refuge reach the people who quietly need it. And remember, the playlist is sitting in the description, ready to hold you through this entire awakening phase, especially when you feel like you're awakening too late. 6. Why late is exactly on time from the outside. It's easy to obsess over chronology. I should have figured this out in my 20s. I should be further by now. I wasted so much time. Jung would invite you to consider something radical. Your life is not a race. It's a pattern, and patterns have timing. Think of it like this. In your teens and 20s, you gathered experiences and wounds that revealed who you are not. In your 30s, you began to see how much of your life was built on other people's expectations. In your 40s and beyond, your soul becomes louder than your fear. Every phase had a function. The wrong relationships taught you what your heart cannot live with. The unfulfilling jobs showed you what your spirit refuses to do just for a paycheck. The loneliness, the confusion, the breakdowns, all of them hollowed out a space inside you that could only ever be filled by your authentic life. If your awakening had come earlier, would you have had the humility to listen to it, the courage to act on it, the strength to hold its consequences? Often the answer is no. The rarest personalities awaken later in part because their destiny doesn't require early speed. It requires deep integration. It's not about impressing people with how quickly you made it. It's about becoming someone whose life is coherent, whose outside finally matches the truth of their inside. That kind of coherence is never late. It's right on time. 7. What to do if you're awakening now? If you're listening to this and thinking, this is me, I feel like I'm only just starting to live my real life now. Here are a few Jungian guided steps to walk with. 1. Stop apologizing for your timing. When the guilt voice shows up, I'm behind, I'm late, meet it with, I took the time I needed to become who I am now. I will not shame myself for surviving long enough to awaken. 2. Simplify your life where you can. Rare personalities can't awaken fully in constant noise and chaos. Clean up your schedule. Release what's clearly dead, friendships, commitments, obligations that only drain. Create small pockets of solitude and quiet. You don't need a cabin in the woods. You just need enough stillness to hear yourself. 3. Create, even if no one is watching yet. Write, journal, speak into your phone, sketch ideas. Follow the topics you're magnetically drawn to. Your rare personality did not come here just to consume. It came to contribute, not necessarily in grand, famous ways, but in honest, specific ones. 4. Choose relationships where your depth isn't too much. You don't have to cut off the whole world. Just get honest. Who can actually meet me here? Invest more in those rare connections, less in proving yourself to the ones who don't even want to understand. 5. Trust that your path won't look like theirs. You may not have their timeline, their achievements, their highlight reels. You are building something different, a life you can actually inhabit. The rare personality is not here to copy-paste the default script. It's here to write a new one. Before you sleep tonight, you, the one who has spent years feeling too sensitive, too deep, too slow, too late, you are not late, you are rare. You were never meant to peak in high school or feel fully formed at 21. Your path was always going to involve getting lost, breaking down, shedding identities, outgrowing spaces, and then, only then, awakening into something truer. If this video spoke to you, and you haven't already, type late in the comments, not as a confession of failure, but as a quiet declaration. I understand now. My awakening is not behind. It's right on time for who I am. If this reflection held you, it truly helps when you like the video, subscribe, and tap the notification bell, so you don't lose this Jungian corner of the internet on the days you start doubting your timing again. From my side, these long, carefully structured scripts take time, focus, and a lot of heart to create for you. If you ever feel moved to support this work, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link waiting in the description. It's never expected, always deeply appreciated. And remember, in that same description, you'll find a playlist of videos made for souls like you, late bloomers, rare personalities, empaths, and deeply reflective women and men who were never meant for the fast, shallow lane. Tonight, when you're about to sleep, instead of rehearsing all the years you think you've wasted, instead of scrolling through other people's timelines and comparing, open that playlist, hit play, and let it run softly as you drift off. Your body will rest, but your subconscious will keep listening, gently learning that your story did not start too late. Your growth did not miss its window. Your timing has always been woven with something intelligent and deeper than you knew. Save the playlist, fall asleep with it, and let these messages slowly sink from your mind into your soul until one day you catch yourself living a small moment, a conversation, a decision, a boundary, and you realize you are no longer the person who is behind. You are the person who arrived exactly when you were meant to.